Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to EliteHealthOnline.com. Thanks for joining us with today's podcast. Today we have a special guest, Jennifer Hill. She is not only an avid patient who's experienced in a lot of the therapies that we offer, but she's also our blog writer and extremely educated in the different therapies that we offer. So if you haven't seen her blog post, please check those out. Today we're going to be talking about pellets versus shot therapy and the real differences in those therapies. There's a lot of folks that their OBGYN or their practitioner does pellets and has told them that that's the better therapy. Jennifer, you've experienced both. We've had a pharmacist talk about on previous podcasts the differences in pellets and shots. We believe that shots are superior to pellets for many reasons. The pharmacist actually, confirmed a lot of that. There's a place for pellets, and for some people that is a good procedure, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we believe that there's a lot of benefits. Today, we want though to talk about a patient's experience. I know you've been through both. If you would just walk us through your experience with pellets and then your experience with shots, and kind of contrast those and where you see the differences. Not really one better than the other, but just the alternatives that they may have.
Well, first of all, I wanted to lose a little weight. So that was my initial going and finding out what my blood work would say, because I just assumed my metabolism was at an all-time low. And I wasn't feeling good, period. I was having horrible allergies and just all kinds of things felt out of whack. So I was like, I might as well go see what all of my levels show and what comes up. Well, I found out that my testosterone was -4, which is crazy because I never even knew that was possible. Obviously, at that point, I realized I needed to have testosterone at least in my system a little. And I really didn't think about shots at all. I think my first instinct was to go get a pellet. And
Mm-hmm.
so I made an appointment with the doctor. I went and saw the doctor. He was awesome, met all the nurses, and he walked me through how he was going to go about proceeding with the pellet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said, we go really gradual and slowly. So I'm going to give you just one for now, and we'll see where that gets you. So it was nothing. It was very easy
Mm-hmm.
doing the pellet. So he put it in, and then I would say, I don't know how long, maybe 3 weeks later, you go get your blood work done again to see where you are. Well, at that point, I was at 87, which is only really almost halfway to, or a little over halfway to where a woman should be. So at that point, he said, okay, I'm going to give you another half one to try to get you, up there where you should be as far as a woman goes. It feeling great. So got a pellet and a half. I'm going to say that was probably 3 or 4 months right before COVID hit. And so, or no, maybe 2 months before COVID hit. So COVID hit, and I did not, honestly, I knew that I was feeling so good and I had so much energy. Even my friends
Mm-hmm.
were like, you are the Energizer Bunny, because we resorted to our ranch. We have a ranch. So we all went to the ranch and took some families with us during COVID, having no clue we would be down there for 6 weeks. We just thought we'd be down there for a weekend. But
Mm-hmm.
the entire time I was there, I had all this energy for all of the families that were with us. I cooked 3 meals a day, and we cleaned up and took care of puppies and all kinds of things. And it's funny because my friends and my husband noticed that I was so energetic. I never, put it with the pellet until right in the middle of COVID. I started feeling yucky again, and I didn't put my finger on why. I just thought, man, it's COVID. I'm so over all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I quoted it to that. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh, I bet my pellet is done for. I bet it's time to
Mm-hmm.
revamp. And
Mm-hmm.
so I called obviously the offices were closed, and they said, well, the best thing we can do for you right now is to give you the shots, for you to start giving yourself shots. That did not scare me, but I do know quite a few people that would shudder at the thought of having to give themselves a shot. It is absolutely not a big deal at all. Like I said, it didn't scare me. My husband's a diabetic, so I've seen shots our whole marriage. But I can see where that would be daunting and very scary. But it's not at all. You practice on an orange, and you do it a few times, and then you're fine. But I got the testosterone, and I started giving myself shots, and within 3 days of the shot, I started
Mm-hmm.
feeling better again. I had the energy.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm going to be honest. I never really was a like I never thought my sex drive was totally at an all-time low. Never thought
Hmm.
about it that way. But it was because
Hmm.
when I had the pellet, I could not get over
Hmm.
that aspect of it. And then when I started using the shots, it was actually even better. I mean, I noticed
Hmm.
that I was even,
Yeah.
I made jokes that I thought like a 15-year-old boy, but I did kind of feel more like that. And
Right.
I made jokes with my husband. I'm like, I cannot believe this is how y'all think, and in a
Hmm.
good way, because he
Right.
loved that I was, it was something that I
Right.
looked forward to instead of the
Hmm.
opposite. So the
Well, the
shots were
pellets are
easier
so
for me to
slow,
manage.
when you get the pellets inserted, they take weeks to kick in. And
Okay,
patients,
so
it's a very gradual release. You don't hit your peak for weeks, then they slowly decline. And it's really almost, if the patients are not very diligent with booking, it's almost too late, because now you got to go schedule, get the insertion, then wait for the number of weeks for it to really start releasing. That's their patients go through these dips and valleys. And I
right,
think what you're explaining is that with shots, you're in control. A shot in 3 days,
always.
you can feel better, you can be consistent, you're on your own.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what we try to teach, is that if you do pellets, you've got to do it extremely consistently, and you still will experience some peaks and valleys for sure.
Right, and I haven't even considered a pellet again. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know if I'll
Right.
ever, I might again, but as it is
Hmm.
right now, I definitely appreciate knowing what day of the week to take my shot. I can
Hmm.
tell, some weeks if I don't have enough, it's just now I've
Hmm.
totally learned exactly how it makes me feel, and I've
Yeah.
learned I can tell when I'm at the perfect level. So
Yeah.
I'm in complete control, which I love.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks for sharing. And I think, again, for the folks that are worried about needles, check out some of our podcasts on sub-Q versus IM injections. Intramuscular injection is an IM, and that is a little more invasive. You're talking about like a 1 inch needle that must go into the muscle. They're really not a big deal when you get used to them, but um, there is all the science there now and the data, and we support doing subcutaneous injections, which is more like the little diabetic needle, 27 gauge,
Mhm.
just doing it into the subcutaneous layer, the fat layer of the skin, usually around the stomach or the upper thigh. Very easy procedure, and not something that even hurts at all. So for
No,
patients
you don't
who are
even feel
looking,
it.
yeah, and then there's creams. We're not a huge fan of creams here. We do offer them for the same reason. They wash off easy. They're hard to apply the same amount. You have, being outside with the sweat, and did it transfer, all of those things. But so we think shots is the most consistent way, but there are alternatives. And Jennifer, thank you for sharing your experience. Hopefully this will help folks who are on the fence. Maybe they've been doing pellets and they're questioning, or they don't know which direction to go. And I think the final thing, Jennifer, is you've done both. I think fair to say the shots are way more economical, correct?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, I haven't even considered the pellet again. I
Hmm.
may later, but
Right.
there's so much ease with the shot. And like I said, the control and how
Hmm.
you handle and how I like being in control. I think everybody else does too. So that
Yep.
alone makes it really nice. And it's within, a few hours, and for sure within a
Hmm.
couple of days of taking the shot, you notice such a
Yep.
difference.
Great. Great. Well, again, thanks for sharing. Please check us out at elitehealthonline.com if you're interested in checking out our protocols and the different therapies that we offer. We'd love to see you online. You can easily book an appointment there to speak with one of our providers, get lab work done, and we'll help you make the right decision to experience the changes you need to make. So thanks for being with us today. Thanks, Jennifer.
Ah, thanks.